us. Very privileged to be joined here by the Honorable NJERI MAINA. She is the Women Rep KIRINYAGA County. Karibu sana.
Thank you for having me.
The last time you were here, you were campaigning.
Yes, I'd won the nominations.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Had I won the party ticket?
You had gotten the party ticket.
Yes, I was campaigning. It was still hostile and a bit hard because of the financial...
Yes, we talked about that. Yeah, congratulations.
Yes. Thank you.
Tell her you won by a landslide. I saw 175,000 votes.
Yes.
You and even your second guy was Uko number 50, almost 50K.
Almost around 49K.
49.
Some hundreds.
Tell me about the nights of that count.
The night of the counting, I had done a few visits to the polling station.
Because I saw you on TV, you didn't look like you had slept.
I had not slept. So on the actual voting day on 9th, I did a few, I think I visited 5 stations. And it was just so crazy. Like, people would see me, they'd be like, you know, they call me Gasheri in Kirinya. They'd be like, Gasheri. I remember at some point, I had to hide because then I didn't want the election officials thinking that I am bribing the people. But the love was there and it's still there and it's massive. And by the time we were starting to tally, I still had some doubts. I was like, perhaps maybe. You had like a good feeling, but. Yeah, but I was like, maybe it's the voter syndrome. They were just saying Gasheri. But then, you know, maybe on the actual ballot, they ticked someone else. So we started tallying. We could see the patterns from the 4 constituencies. I was winning by big margins. But I remember saying, hey, let's not sleep. Ukilala, you wake up the following morning and you're no longer the winner. So I didn't sleep until I was declared that I had won all the 4 constituencies in Kirinyaga.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
How have things changed since?
Hey, things, I think it's a lot of responsibility and it's quite a bit to take on. So I am very much aware of the expectations of people. So I think for me, I can say it's a bit of a balance between what people expect, what I can do, what I cannot do. And perhaps obviously I have to make adjustments in my social circles because now I can't just speak randomly, because I would be quoted as if I'm speaking on behalf of the people of Kirinyaga, to be measured, even when I have, because I'm very opinionated. But you see, there's some things that I can't comment on anymore because I feel that I do not want the people of Kirinyaga to feel that maybe perhaps I'm letting them down. I have to think of them. Everything I do, I have to think of Kirinyaga and the many people that voted for me and those that believed in my vision.
There are a number of young parliamentarians like yourself.
Yes.
What's the mood like in Parliament and how are they viewing you, the older guys?
I think the older guys, it's a status quo basically. And it's like Parliament on the inside of it. It's like perhaps like a high school. You know, there are those people that see the Form 1s and they're looking at them like, you guys, you know, you don't know the way things go in this school. You have no idea. We are going to show you what
There's a seniority thing in Parliament, big time.
Yes, there is. Even when we want to address the House, you find that the senior members are given priority over new members. So there's a bit of that, but what I can tell you is new members are very spirited, and we have the likes of Cynthia, we have Toto, very spirited, and we are pushing as much as we can to upset the status quo. You are, huh? Yes.
What has been the most you'd call surprising thing, or something that you've checked in Parliament, you're like, wow?
In Parliament?
Yeah. Or since being a parliamentarian?
Just about like maybe the personal perspective of it. I think it's having a security guard. I'm not used to that at all. You know, sometimes I remember we had to have a conversation and he was like, the reason I get out of the car and you have to wait for me to open the door is for security reasons, you know. Because I was like, why can't I just open my door?
No more jumping out.
Like just jump out and, you know. And sometimes I think I'm too fast. So it catches me mid. I'm like, oh yeah, there's a security guard, you know, but I've already jumped out and he's like, oh, okay. Yeah.
You have spoken in Parliament?
Yes, I have.
Already?
3 times.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. How has that been like? Was it daunting the first time?
The first time, I did not know that you cannot mix languages. So I knew that you can connote like maybe Kikuyu, maybe a phrase in Kikuyu, but I didn't know that you can't speak in English and then Swahili. Because we have a huge book of standing orders and things happen so fast. So I'd reach a certain page and I wasn't able to get to the rest of it. So I remember the speaker was the one who's sitting on the chair was Wetangula. So he corrected, no, it was Sholei.
It was Sholei,
yeah, she corrected me and we moved on. I think you learn, most of these things you really can't learn from reading. You learn from just sitting in the house, observing. But I think now I've gotten the gist of things. There's a bit of ease. When I I spoke on the delocalization, the compulsory delocalization of teachers. It was a bit easier, and I could be able to, you know. So I think you learn as you go, and I'm meshing in well.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what do you think is top on your agenda now?
Top of my agenda is delivering on what I can to Kirinyaga at the moment, because the Exchequer has not given us funds yet.
Yeah.
So we do not have funds.
And they don't give you much as women rep, do you?
We do not. We only get 7 million per constituency. So it's not a lot. So what I'm doing, I'm knocking on a lot of doors on donors. I'm trying to get food for the marginalized groups that have been affected by the famine in Kirinyaga County, which I will be donating soon. And I'm also trying to get as much as I can, you know, sanitary towels, wheelchairs, all those things. But for a new member, it takes quite a bit of time, because then people have to know that they can trust you.
Yes.
You know, because working with these organizations, it's trust. And you know, personal relationships, people invest when they have known you for a longer period of time. So I'm also requesting that these organizations give us a goodwill and just give us a leeway, even as new members, because we need that support. You cannot survive on 7 million per constituency. It is not doable. Our people expect a lot.
Yeah.
You're very much aware that the Hustler government promised a lot. You know, I'm the representative of the president when I go to my people in Kirinyaga. You know, they'll ask me about the fund and all those things. So besides that, in Parliament, I'm working on legislation. There's a motion I'm working on in regard to mandatory sign language. I know, I'm certain you do not even know how to do sign language.
I hosted somebody here the other day. They took me through the alphabet.
Yes.
But hata nimesahau.
Yeah, so you can imagine how hard it is for the deaf community to express or to enjoy their rights.
Yes.
Because you will go to a hospital, you will find it's a doctor. They do not have an interpreter, obviously. They do not know any sign language. So you're trying to tell them that you're feeling unwell. So I'm working on a motion to have it included in the primary level, at the primary level. I'm also working on
as a subject?
Yes, as a subject. Because I mean, we learn English, we learn Swahili. We need these people to also feel that they're part and parcel of the community. I'm also working on a bill to do away. Remember, there was a story online about the child who had a fork djembe.
Yes.
And the hospital demanded some deposit before they could treat that child.
Yeah.
I'm working on a bill to ensure that no private or public institution will ever demand for money before admitting a client.
Yeah. You're going to run into huge sharks on that one.
I know. I'm going to, I know. I am waiting for them. You know, I'm up to the task and I'm ready. So I'm doing legislation, groundwork, obviously looking for opportunities for the people of Kirinyaga, the young people. It's a tall order, but I will do as much and as best as I can.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you have caught the eye of the deputy president. I saw you in his entourage.
Yes.
How was that like?
The deputy president and even the president himself, because I remember I've been with the president and the deputy president in their both entourage. They're very keen on mentoring the next generation of leaders. And I think that's something that has been lacking with the previous leaderships. So they're very intentional. You find that they want to ensure that at least they do as much as they can to give us the exposure and to also hold our hands so that we can be at the forefront of leadership. It's been a good experience. They're both very kind and very passionate about young people's leadership. And they just tell you mentorship 101, you know. So you go, you get to have a chat about how things are going. And obviously we depend on their advice. And I believe that we will be having a very impactful 5 years as in terms of the leadership of young people.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, as somebody who's representing the youth, with the youth, there's a big challenge of drugs and alcoholism. And I know in your county, it's also quite a challenge, so like in mine. Is that something you're spotlighting as well? As well as mental issue, you know? So
there's mental health and drug and substance abuse.
Yeah.
And like we've said, I get only 7 million per constituency. So we found that these funds, they are clustered, maybe around 2M. We don't get the actual 7M, we get around maybe 6.7 because there's a reserve that's given to the NGAF reserve fund for emergencies. So you find that they're clustered, maybe 2 million is for bursaries, another 2 million for
oh, they already have
2 point something, yes, for constituency or rather county development projects, and then another around 600, 700 or 1M for civic education. So you find that I am not able to do much with the fund, the NGAF fund, that would be impactful in terms of, you see, when you're doing a project, you want to see to fruition and you want to see the sustainability of the same.
Yeah.
If you're doing something on drug and substance abuse or mental health, it has to have an end game. You do not just rehabilitate people without offering them something that they will hold on to as they become, they come out of the community and become.
They need to be integrated,
people, right?
yeah.
They need to be integrated. They need maybe programs. So you find that there's so much. We run, you look at such a project and you look at the cost and you really can't do it as a county MP. So what we are doing, we'll be doing sensitization, which is the basic that we can do with the funds, but we'll also be pushing partners to invest on drug and substance abuse issues and mental health. I'll also be pushing, we had a mentor bill that had been proposed, the 2020 bill, Mental Health Act 2020. And we do not have a framework for mental health. And we have so much mushrooming issues in terms of mental health. And in the African way, we used to think that, huyu ni mwenda wazimu,
Yeah.
But mental health is like any other illness. It's just like the way you can have maybe a headache or maybe your arm, you've hurt your arm. And we need to look after our mental health, because you find that the output of a human, if you do not look after your mental health, then you're not able to give a good output as a human being. So it's something that we are looking at to introduce the bill. The act that is in place, Levy, it's terrible. It's like a bunch of pages and you look at it and it is so shallow. You wonder how we have gone on and on for that long without mental health legislation in place. So I'm hoping that the bill will get the support of members. The issue with Bunge, you find that money bills, there are bills which are not money bills and there are bills which are money bills. They take a lot of time. So you could find it could even last for like 5 years. So by the time maybe the member...
So when you say money bills for the layman, it means, they'll need funding.
Yeah, they'll need funding from the exchequer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those bills it's so hard to canvass support for that, and sometimes you have to lobby, you have to, it's a lot that goes into that.
Yeah.
So there's a challenge of it, but we'll be pushing for the reintroduction of that bill. I am in the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee, so we're looking at the most urgent bills that we will be pushing as a committee.
Yeah, there's a lot of expectation from young people, even when they see a young person like you, as you said, you're the definition of the true hustler.
Yes.
And there's so much expectation. Guys are thinking, there are those guys who are imagining the cost of living will drop overnight. They'll be able to access jobs, this hustler fund, they won't need to jump through many hoops to get it.
Yeah.
What would you tell young people tonight about their expectations in terms of what they really expect to happen and quick?
I think what I can say is nothing comes easy, Levy. And anything that comes easy does not last. You find that people were very much aggrieved when the president refused to continue with the fuel subsidy. But the background of that is that he had been informed that the IMF, we do a lot of borrowing, and the World Bank, that if we continue the subsidies, we will have such a massive deficit from the budget that we will not have any money for development. And you see, those subsidies, they're open to abuse, they distort markets and all these issues. So to young people, I think we just need to learn to be patient and to be a little bit disciplined in the way that we approach things, and we have to be aggressive. Levi, if I say that there were so many challenges that I discussed in my earlier interview when I decided to vie. If I had said at one point that I'm going to give up, that I will not, I cannot proceed, I can't go ahead. I remember telling you that I lost my father during the elections, and it was such a hard task for me. But you have to keep going. So I want to ask the young people of this nation, let us keep going. I believe and I trust that the leadership of William Samoei Ruto is pegged on ensuring that young people of this nation have a better future, but we need time to fix the economy. It can't be a quick fix overnight. It just not a click of a finger and things are right. So let's be patient. He's putting in the groundwork. We'll be having bills and legislation that we will fast track in Parliament so that we can ensure that we support the hustler agenda. But change will come. We believed in William Samoei Ruto. I am certain that he's going to deliver for the Kenyan people and the Kenyan youth.
You're saying change will come. What are they saying in Kirinyaga when you talk to them, the young people there?
In Kirinyaga, the young people are patient. We've had a few discussions around maybe the appointments of the PSs. You know, we were used to having 3 PSs in Kirinyaga County.
Yeah.
From like, for as long as I can remember.
Yeah, everyone pulls and asks. Yeah.
Yeah. And now we have 1 PS, so it's such a shift for them. But I believe that, I always believe that appointive democracy, it doesn't mean that just because we do not have the PSs from Kirinyaga that William Samoei Ruto will not deliver.
Let me surprise you. You know, there was a big row about PSs from North Rift versus PSs from South Rift.
I know.
It was a big debate.
It must be hard. It must be hard being president.
Yeah. Everyone was saying, watu walipata mingi sana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's always that issue on the tag and a push and pull. But the young people of Kirinyaga, I think perhaps we need a lot of civic education on the roles and maybe the funding, what each maybe a member of parliament gets. You know, people don't know perhaps that the member of parliament gets 135 million and for a constituency, and I get 7 million for the constituency, right?
Yeah.
So you find that maybe perhaps the expectations are the same, and it's because people do not know. They don't know the role of the legislative role and how important it is. I remember we had, my people are farmers, you know, they farm coffee, they farm tea, and they farm rice. And we had some legislation, we call them the MAINA legislation, that was passed in the last parliament, and it adversely affected tea farmers. So I think we need all these discussions, and we'll be doing, in my personal capacity, my office will be doing a lot of civic education, so people can know what to expect from me, what I can actually do, and what I can't. And I'm trying as much as I can to work around sustainable programs. You can imagine what you can sustain with 7M per
this money issue, this 7M, is there no way of lobbying for it to be? I know past parliaments have tried and not really succeeded. Is that something you guys are also looking at, or have you just given up the?
No, we haven't given up.
Gauntlet?
There's actually a bill that is on the floor of the House that I was just supporting recently on the increment of the NGAF fund. But what you find, Levy, is that it comes down to power play. You find that perhaps sometimes our male counterparts feel that if we are given adequate or like equal funding, perhaps maybe we would outshine them. So it's like a bit of a power play, and our numbers are not as much as their numbers. So when it comes to supporting bills in regard to the county MPs, you find there's a bit of a disconnect in there. But the president has spoken and has been very clear on that. He promised that he will increase the woman rep kitty, and I believe that we will be able to find a middle ground. We've also had discussions with Senate. They've been complaining that they do not even have an oversight fund to adjudicate their oversight role. So we're having these discussions. The bill is on the floor of the House. We are supporting it. And obviously, it is an amendment to the Constitution. They need our numbers. So we will try to bully our way around. Yeah. Yes.
That's what it's a give and take, that kind of thing. Yes. There are critics who say that that the government, the cabinet, do not represent the youth very well. Do you feel so?
The people that were appointed, there are things that are factual. That is the truth. We do not really have the face of the youth there, and we do not have the 2/3 gender rule or compliance. But I believe, like I have said, there's representative democracy and appointive democracy. And I think they will, as long as they deliver to the Kenyan youth, I can take that again any day, any time. We'll be having Iyala. We have some young people there. I think like MAINA-WOMAN.
Yeah.
And
he's been here. He's my friend.
He's been here. He's been like on every media platform defending our president. So I believe it is an issue of just taking the bargain. And like I've said, it's a hard job to be president. And I believe there are many other factors that come into play. So we're looking forward to this government delivering to every young person, not just in terms of appointive democracy, but to ensure that they deliver to the youth of this nation, because they have high hopes. Levy, they have high hopes.
They do. And one of the biggest problems right now is insecurity. In fact, I was just reading about it. And most of the insecurity is perpetuated by our youth.
Yes.
Guys are getting frustrated, no jobs, no what. Then they see you walking around. Maybe you have a good pass or you have a good shoe, and they want to grab it and take it. How do we address that? Other than, of course, police saying, of course, they will nab people and stuff. There's that. And when there's that wave, there's also the wave of people trying to get rich quick.
Yes.
A lot of guys are gambling, just hoping for the windfall, I was looking at what the MP for Langata said about the green card. I don't think it's true. I think he exaggerated, but a lot of people applied anyway.
Yeah, it's around, the figures for Kenya is around, I think, 140,000.
Yeah.
He just made it very ridiculous.
Yes.
And, you know, we say media likes those...
sensational stuff.
Yeah, sensational
Yeah.
taglines, so they went with it.
Yeah.
It's around 140,000, surely. I mean, it's such a huge discrepancy between 140,000 and 30 million.
I said it's ridiculous. Yeah. But you see that whole thing of insecurity.
It's unfortunate because it's not only here in Nairobi. And I think there's somewhere we dropped the ball along the way. It breaks my heart that sometimes I go nyumbani and I find that the only thing that young people believe they can do is ride a motorbike. And you see, there's always that rule, the basic rule of nature, demand versus supply. If everyone living at your local stage is riding a motorbike, I mean, who are the customers, right? So I think we have to ensure that we have so much work to do, Levi. Sometimes I think I wake up at night and I'm scared. I'm like, oh God, we have so much to do, and there's so much expectation of us to deliver. And you see, there's limited resources. We've picked on terrible economy, and it will take time to correct and to put it on the right path. So you find that what we need to do, I believe, is to empower these young people. I do not think at any given point that someone who is earning something will come to take from you. But then if I am not earning something and I find that you are walking around looking like you're earning something, I need to cater for my basic needs. And it's unfortunate, you know. And like I've said, we dropped the ball somewhere, and it will take quite some time to fix. Because I always tell the young people in my area, you need to shift from the motorbike. It cannot be a long-term thing, right?
So it's not just an economy fix, it's also a mindset fix.
Yes, there's a mindset fix. Because you see, and that's why I'm saying young people need discipline. You know, it's like we've made it so, we've socialized people to think that, you know, it's the quick fix. You know, we want quick things, you want quick money, right? You do not want to imagine tilling land, waiting for the period of 6 months or so, making a harvest and making money out of it, right? But it's so easy to just, you know, make money from maybe motorcycle. But you see, that thing is not sustainable. How long and how many other people can we churn out of university of TVETs to come and ride motorcycles?
True.
And that is why the president is very keen on the housing plan agenda, which is going to absorb quite a number of young people. And we'll also be having other initiatives that will come. We want to focus on ensuring that the people we are getting out have somewhere that they are coming to.
Yeah.
Yes.
One of the biggest complaints amongst the youth was, you know, the inability to be able to, one, if they're looking for employment, they're asked for, you know, your experience, you know. If they're looking for a business, they need to get at like 4 or 5 different certifications, you know. You're paying Kanjo, then you're paying NEMA, then you're paying I don't know who, then you're paying who, you know. Those kind of things, plus capital already is a problem. If you go to a bank or you know, a society that lends money, of course, because you're young, you have no credit history. So it puts you in a, do you feel like they're already in a corner? There are some things we can do to, you know, ease those movements.
Young people are pushed in a corner, and that is a fact. Before I became the county MP KIRINYAGA, I was a young person who was pushed in a corner. I remember one day contemplating just leaving to go to the US, because I'm thinking, I've done 7 years of law school, I'm admitted to the bar, but it is tough out here, especially the job market. You find that I even have some doctor friends who I know are not employed. And I think perhaps for me, I was willing to just do about anything. So I was hawking mitumba in downtown, by the way.
You are?
Yes, I was. I could do absolutely anything legal for money. You know, I said, well, I mean, I have a degree in law. There's no job available for me.
Yeah.
Let me do something. I used to run some small biasharas.
At least you can hawk with good English.
Before I set up my farm. Yes. You know, and I can be really professional, and I can set up, I have at least the know-how to set up online sales and all that. So I used to market online. I didn't have a physical shop. I'd market online, and I have gone to so many corners of these, you know, the vast metropolitan of Nairobi. I've been to Kitengela, to people's homes. You don't know whether you're safe.
So you just
but you have to do a home delivery. Yes, because you imagine sending someone there, it's cutting eating into your profit.
Yeah.
So when you do the math, it's not mathing. So young people are pushed in a corner. So I remember one day just thinking, why am I even staying here? You know, I love this country, but why am I staying here? What am I doing? You know, I just need to leave, go look for something somewhere else,
Yeah.
you know, or somewhere where my intellect can be appreciated.
And that feeling is everywhere.
It is everywhere. And it is frustration. It is so frustrating. And you find that you cannot blame young people because they're pushed in a corner whereby they have absolutely nothing else to do. They have nowhere to turn to. And that is why we are saying that this government has a lot to fix. We have expectations, we have work to do. As much as we can, we have to ensure that we deliver to the young populace because they are the future of this nation. And if we have a frustrated, broken future, it's going to be terrible for this country.
Yeah.
Yes.
You see the turnaround though?
Yes,
Is there a light at the end of the tunnel?
There's a light at the end of the tunnel. We were discussing and passing a motion, approving a motion in Bunge the other day, which was fronted by Mheshimiwa KJ Wadagoreti South, and it was about artisan. What we need to do is diversify. You know, we need to social re-engineer the young of this nation, so that we train them on discipline, we train them on other sources of, you know.
Someone suggested
revenue.
we should return the whole going back to NYS.
I think that is something that, but you see, after NYS, what were young people doing? You know, you do NYS and then you find
Yeah,
that
they're looking at the discipline aspect. Saying,
Yes.
vijana wa siku hizi hawana nidhamu, hawana nini.
I've had those discussions, but I
there's-
believe sometimes we pass some things and we have to admit, we look at the budget, we look at whether that could be applied in a better way that could have the end game of it. You know, you have to look, if you're doing a project, that's what I say, you have to look at the sustainability of it.
I like
You're
how you
just
think,
not churning young people from NYS and then they're here, jobless in the market. You know,
Yeah.
you're not helping them. So we have to sort people out for the long term.
I can imagine that, jobless with fighting skills.
Imagine. It is even worse.
With the ability to take down people.
Hey, it's even worse.
Yeah.
And you find that young people feel they do not, especially maybe the 20-year-olds now, you know, we have now a Gen Z.
Yeah.
They feel that they do not want to participate. You're telling them about elections, they're not concerned. You know, there's a whole
Yeah.
disconnect about it. And I'm trying to run, I'll be doing a program next year to ensure that we have some continuity. You know, there was a huge
Yeah.
disconnect. And
Because this
it's going
civic
to take
education you
time.
talk about,
Yes,
8 million people
yes,
did not vote.
yes. 8
And
million
a lot of them are young people.
Yes,
Even in my own house, I had a young voter who never voted,
yes.
never even bothered. She just,
Yes. They're like, why are you telling me the system is rigged? You know, they have these just short phrases. They have short answers to everything you tell them. No, not interested, you know. System is rigged. Oh, why do I vote a politician? What is the benefit, you know? And it's because we have that disconnect that we drop the ball somewhere and we have to work on it.
yeah. So this civic education is going to be very key.
It is.
And
And
it
you
has
see,
to
there's a
be-
lot of funding that comes in for civic education, but nobody knows where it goes. You know, it goes to people's pockets. So we need to look at this money that comes for civic education. Where does it go? Bill Gates just announced that he has funded, you know,
Yeah.
agriculture, some projects in
Yeah.
climate change and all that. This money, where is it going to? Is it being utilized as it should be?
Yeah. Those are very good questions.
Yes.
And of course, you know, we also have those topics on climate change, we've got
Yes.
the topics on, you know, other emerging issues in the world.
Yes.
So much on the plate. Huh?
I think it's a hard time to be
Yeah.
alive. Yeah.
Do you feel like, you know, since you got in, there's such a bombardment of information? Is there an information overload sometimes on the things that are happening in this country?
There is, because now I have to be sensitive to every piece of information. Because I'm a leader, might be asked to comment on it, or it might need my attention. So I feel that, and obviously now you know, we came from an election that was highly contested, and obviously, and it's unfortunate that there are people who are really wishing our president to fail. And if our president fails, then the nation fails.
We all fail, yeah.
We all fail. You know, our children, the future of our children. So I think even if we were on different divides, you know, I think the best that Kenyans could do, even those who did not support William Samoei Ruto, is just give him some leeway and give him time. You know, but there's all this critique happening, and obviously people just saying, oh, you promised this, you haven't done it, you know. And at the end of the day, there's a difference between the campaign period and the actual now,
Yeah.
you know, performance period. and he deserves our grace because he is. I think I've seen he's done so many meetings, right?
Yeah.
There was something like that in the news.
127 they said.
Yes, you know, he is really keen on ensuring that he delivers to the Kenyan people. So let's give him some leeway. Let us wish for him to succeed because it will be our success. All of us.
Yeah.
His failure will be our failure. All of us. So it would be it's very unfortunate when people wish the president to fail.
Yeah.
Yes.
How are things like for you working with the governor, KIRINYAGA County, leaders there?
You really had to ask that.
I had to ask.
And the county leadership.
Yeah.
I think the factual statement would be that it's a bit fragmented. We just came off contested issues with the PSAs. The leadership generally, we feel that there's lack of consultation between the governor and ourselves. And you know, Levy always say power is temporary, you know, and you never know how long you'll be in power. So personally, I am informed from the way I treat people and other leaders from a point of humility and a point of serving the people and a point of consultation. And unfortunately, that is lacking between us and the governor. And I hope perhaps we can see some changes as time goes by. If it doesn't, well, we have to work with what we have and do what we can.
Yeah, we see a lot of those things in counties, by the way, and it's very unfortunate. There's a lot of push and pull as guys are beginning to do. Maybe it eases out towards, you know, next year, who knows? Yeah,
perhaps sometimes it eases out,
maybe it's
but yeah, I have the goodwill. I'm open, but I will not also work with. I will not also get to a level where now I am stifling my viewpoint when I feel that perhaps we're headed in the wrong direction as far as advocating for the general, you know, needs of the people of KIRINYAGA are concerned.
Your voice
that one, then
there.
I just, you know, step back a bit, watch the space. Plus, being a new politician, I think people see you like someone who's coming in to take places and spaces that they were in, or maybe some sort of limelight sharing and all that. So there's a whole gist of it in politics. But I'm open to it, and I am a fighter to the end.
Yeah.
Yes.
What keeps you grounded?
My upbringing. I think, and it's all of my siblings, you know, who were brought up by a very, very tough dad who will not entertain some things. And the basic rule was treat people the way you want to be treated. You know, be kind to others, and you can be firm and kind, you know. And when you need to now cross overboard, now go full force, you know. So I think it's my upbringing that keeps me grounded. I remember a friend asking me, don't you like feel like, you know, all these powerful and all that? I'm like, no, I actually feel that I have to deliver to my people, you know. Yeah. I feel their need and I feel sorry when I know that my resources are limited. So for me, that is what keeps me grounded. Because
as a Mheshimiwa, people really call for, I'm sure it's hitting you hard now.
Yes.
That there's a lot of work Mheshimiwas do behind the scenes in terms of solving people's problems.
Yes. I think you never appreciate it until you're a member of parliament or a Mheshimiwa or a county assembly, you know. I think I didn't even imagine it would be this this demanding in terms of the needs.
Because you gave out your number even last time you were here.
Yes.
People have
the social needs of the people. And I haven't changed, you know, I haven't changed my number, only that sometimes now it's overwhelming. I can't pick all calls, you know, so sometimes I'll just be like, kindly send me a text so I can see maybe this one is an emergency, this one I can handle, this one I can delegate to my PA, this one maybe I can refer to my office, right? And you find that our society is engineered to think that a politician solves everything. You know, we are like magicians. Click of a finger and it's, you know, solved. They also think that from the outside world that we are making loads of money. And I saw even last time when they were discussing the perks of members of parliament, and I remember telling, I think I was on Citizen TV, and I was telling them, this is not the actual, you know, tell them about the deductions, you know, the tax cut, the 30%. You take 30% off, and it's not even, in, you know, you have to fuel your car, you go to the village, you're doing the maombolezis, you're doing the bursaries, and you see, these are our people. Yeah. When you are in a position to, you cannot say no, you can't turn your face, somebody needs you. You know, you have to be there for them. They're your constituent. They are looking up to you. Yeah. So I think we have this social engineering issue, and we have a politics. We have really enabled the politics of tokenism, and for future it's not sustainable. We'll have to do away with it at some point, because then we will just be buying votes.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to make it sustainable too.
Yes.
Because like you said, once people have money in their pockets, then they move away from.
Yeah, and they have something, you know, they have something to do. If we empower a coffee farmer and make sure they're making more money than they were when there's all those cartels and the people in between, the middlemen, they will not call you to tell you, Mheshimiwa, I don't have school fees for my child. You know, they will just sort out those issues. So we also have the economic issue, but it's work in progress, and it will not happen overnight. So we have to take everything as it comes. I think when you sign up for this job, you're ready to go all in. And here we are, so that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope, tell me, before you go, is there something you were saying on the campaign trail or you felt you would do immediately, and maybe you have, they say ground victory different, then you enter and say, wow, this cannot happen now?
Let me tell you, the most weird thing, I figured that if you make promises on the campaign trail, and I think it's very weird that I picked on it quite fast, you will be held to your word. And may have a close proximity to the people of Kirinyaga than say maybe perhaps the president, right? I'm actually a representative of some of his promises. You know, people ask me, Mlisema Hustler Fund, you know. So what I did is I would never say that I am going to do this
in 100 days.
I'm going to do this in 100 days. What I would say is I am an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. I am an intellect. If you send me to Parliament, I will represent your interests. I will represent coffee farmers. I'll represent teachers. I'll represent rice farmers. I'm going to represent tea farmers. That is what I would tell them. And you see, I'm already doing it. We're working on some amendments to the legislation in the coffee sector. We have a coffee caucus. I already gave out some bursaries. I'm already working on the legislation that I've told you about the Medical Health Act, the Health Act. Sorry, I'm already speaking on the compulsory delocalization in terms of teachers. We are doing something on rice. We are doing something on tea. So I think I did.
Yeah, you're doing something on sign language.
I'm doing something on sign language. Yeah. So at the end of the day, I did not make any specific promises. I don't think anyone can factually say that I did. But we don't have funds as yet. It's
so you're running your own path.
Yes.
The funds will come.
Yes.
What's your parting shot to all the young people watching you tonight?
My parting shot to the young people: let us cultivate discipline, and let us cultivate hard work. I know it's thrown around that hard work doesn't pay, and we have glorified materialism and quick success. It doesn't work that way. You have to work. You have to sacrifice. And when you do, when you get the results of it, it's going to be something sustainable. It's going to be something you can be proud of. And we're here, we will be working on legislation to ensure that your needs are catered for. But please give us the grace. We can only do too much, but we are willing, and we will be representing you in our best capability.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Once again.
Thank you.
The Honorable NJERI MAINA, she is Women Rep Kirinyaga County. I tell you, Kirinyaga is county number?
It's county 020.
020.
Have you ever been to Kirinyaga?
Yeah, you know me, I'm married from NJERI. I pass there all the time.
Do you know that marketplace where people sell bananas? They run to the roadside. Now that's home.
Oh, really?
It's called Kivingoti, yeah.
Yes, I know that place very well.
Yes, that's home. I grew up there in that, the shopping center.
Wow. Wow. Kumbe hauko mbali sana barabara. They're making a very nice road, by the way, that side.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it has claimed so many lives.
Yeah, that's a sad bit.
Yeah.
But, keep going. Yes. We'll call you again at some point and see how you're doing.
Thank you.
And see how it's going further down the road. And
thank you.
All the best getting used to the bodyguard.
Asante. I'll try.
Good night. God bless you. That's the opinion box. We'll see you next week.